So, Grease, are we talking about, you say tanks that encourage people to camp. Are we talking about artillery? Right? I've heard people complain about arty in tanks. So if we're talking about arty, I kind of understand that from the perspective of, as I understand it, those tanks are not meant to fight other tanks. Like, they're meant to sit in the back. Not arty. Okay, all right, fair enough. I won't pretend I know. That's why I'm asking the question. I know, right? Oh my god. 3 weeks I've been playing this boat, and it figures that I saved the worst games I've ever had in it until I have to play it live. I mean, honestly, I shouldn't be playing randoms. I should be sticking to operations. I'm slowly becoming a PvE player. Because randoms have gotten to the point where they're just not fun anymore. It's not fun to zone into a game with a bunch of people who don't want to fight. They just want to zone in and sail in circles and pray they don't get shot. High-tier games exacerbate this problem because they punish mistakes much faster and much more severely than mid-tier games do. So when I do play randoms, I'd much rather play mid-tier, right? 6, 7, maybe the occasional 8. On 8, you're eventually going to find yourself in a high-tier game, which sucks, but not every time. And so I'm reaching a point where, like, I love my gearing, as an example. I love my Fletcher, but I don't want to play them because playing them means I inevitably end up in the matchmaking with a bunch of people who don't actually want to fight. They're terrified of fighting. To some extent, wargaming has created this problem themselves, right? Tier 10 ships were always strong, but over the years they have gotten so outrageously dumb in terms of power level and alpha damage and everything. It's like, why am I bothering? Right? You cannot make a mistake, because as soon as you do, you're dead, as we just saw in the previous game. So it's kind of like it discourages aggression, it encourages passivity. And then I saw a guy recently, they had temp banned a guy for playing too passively. And I'm like, oh, hold on, your game encourages this. What am I missing? Like, your game flat out encourages passive play, and now you're going to start punishing people because they play the game passively? What is happening? Very odd. I should be looking at radars on the enemy team. Salem, Des Moines. Salem, Des Moines. There's the Salem. He's too far back. Salem probably going to try to work in a little closer. I'm betting he will. Hey, what up?
Torpedoes to start. The ship is on fire. Torpedoes to port. Smoke generator started. Critical engine damage. Problem solved, sir.
Yeah, Salem is rushing up here trying to get in radar range. He's gonna make it.
Destroyer foundered.
Concentrate fire on the designated target.
You did it. You crazy son of a bitch, you did it.
Ship is on fire. Main turret critically damaged. Problem solved, sir. Attention. Reporting
Okay,
the target
Salem.
position.
He's right there in front of you. Time to murder him, buddy.
All stations, concentrate fire on the target.
So here's a perfect example. We are less than 5 minutes into this game. I have taken 1.4 million potential damage at this tier. That kind of tells you everything you need to know, right? Aggressive play is grossly overpunished at high tier. You just can't be aggressive. And so the entire design of the game encourages passivity. And now they say, now they're going to start punishing people for passive play? Come on. What are we doing? One of the reasons I like Laffy, okay, is because this crazy heal allows her to take dumb risks like the one I just took and get away with it. I don't necessarily mind getting into an early gunfight with a Salem or a Des Moines or something. Why? Because I can probably, you know, as long as I don't get completely boned, I can probably manage it. I can probably survive it.
Concentrate fire on the enemy warship.
All right, time to go to mid. Or at a minimum, get out here and do some spotting for the team. They're down to just the daring on the other end of the map. We kill this Salem, we're more or less going to have a free run to their sea cap, which will feel good.
I need intelligence data.
All stations, requesting fire on the designated target.
Yeah, and as Formula points out, that's without a carrier to like perma-spot me or to drive me crazy. Now with a Laffy, again, Laffy has the advantage of one of the best AA suites a destroyer can buy with the defensive fire active. So I can generally tell the planes to go pound sand and just, you know, go be somewhere else in a Laffy. But your point is still valid, right? The overwhelming majority of destroyers can't do that. How's Laffy's A compared to Holland? So Formula, basically, I was saying this in my little first look video. When you push this defensive fire button on Laffy, you basically have Holland AA while it's up. So what is that? For 48 seconds, I effectively have Holland AA. Thank you, Columbo. Thank you.
Our team has taken the lead. Much obliged.
So, Formula, I don't know. I have read all kinds of things about the AA rework, what they are doing, what they aren't doing. I will not pretend that I have all the answers. I have heard all kinds of things, and at the end of the day, they're testing all kinds of things. I don't believe we know what they're actually going to do. So, as I understand it, they are intending to remove defensive fire. Does that mean that they will? If they do, I think... Now, that's a good point, Altador. We'll come back to that in a minute. If they do remove defensive fire, I think you have to give something back to ships like Laffy, to ships like Fletcher and Gearing, where for my money, having defensive fire accessible, the top end of the European destroyer line is the same way. Having that consumable available is one of the core functionalities, core identities, the core identities of that branch of ship. If you take the Dutch heavies are like that, right? That defensive fire on the Dutch heavies is it's so good. If you take that away, you got to give them something in exchange, boys. You can't just take it away and say, oh, well, that's all you get. Like you can't do that. So if they're going to take defensive fire away, they're going to have to come up with other ways to come up with something, right? I don't know what it's going to be, but they got to figure it out. Lead, I like Laffy. I have enjoyed American destroyers. Laffy is no exception. She is just very, 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 very good. She's a lot of fun to play. The heal lets you get away with some crazy shenanigans that you might not otherwise be able to get away with, which makes her very interesting. Slava, I'm gonna edge back south just a hair. Slava's turning away. I'll never land those. Conqueror, on the other hand, I'm pretty sure is boned. He should take at least 2 of these, if not 3. And the Daring is actually in front of me somewhere. Conqueror is going to take 3. Stern, yep, there he is. There is my good buddy, the Daring.
Enemy battleship foundered.
Just in time to die.
Enemy destroyer foundered.
Smoke generator started.
We're just going to break contact here real quick. The little smoke that you can toggle on this ship is really good. It's so much fun to be able to use it like a little bit of British smoke like I did. Just quick smoke, break contact, call it a day. Very, very nice. This is another thing that I've had a lot of success doing in Laffy. Once you bully the opposing destroyers out of the way, either they don't want to deal with you, so they just go be somewhere else, or they're all dead. You can just rack up the spotting damage. One of my test games, I think I had like 185,000 spotting damage in this boat. Like it's very doable once you hit a certain point. It has the burst fire. I almost never use it. If you find yourself in a position where you are trying to finish off a target that's on low HP, and you want to make sure you get it and then like pop your smoke and go dark or whatever, then the burst fire has its uses. Otherwise, it's not great in my mind. It's a little like the ones you get on some of the other ships. It's like, nah, it's not anything to get excited about.
Smoke generator started.
Well, we got one into the Howden. That bought him. He's out now.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Cutter, welcome in. Thank you much, Lee. At this point, we win, so I sort of don't care if they spot me. But, yeah. So that's a solid example of the kind of shenanigans you can get away with in Laffy, right? You're able to be a bit of a bully early. You're going to be able to heal back a notable chunk of the damage you're going to take. You can't take insane risks, but you can take more risks than you're used to in a tier 10 destroyer. She really does play a little bit like Kid that way, right? The thing is that this thing is even better than Kid at it because it's a super heal, not a regular heal. You have one less, but they're still good. The torpedoes will occasionally do work. The range is something you got to fight against, but it's not why you're playing this boat. The smoke is good enough that you can do those little stop and farm moments for a while, but I'll be honest, The other thing about, you reach a point in some of these games where enough stuff dies that you could even do what you've seen me do in some of those American Destroyer videos. Just run around on the surface in front of God and everybody and just farm damage, right? Just farm damage because, okay, they're going to shoot at you. It's like being a kid. Okay, you shoot at me. Fine. Heal. You shot at me some more. You landed 2,000 damage. You shot at me some more. You landed 3,000 damage. A few minutes later, heal. Like, you just don't care. Very much like Nustra Shirmiadaldrel. But in my mind, so Nustra is more torpedo boaty. Her guns are really not amazing. Laffy's the other end of that spectrum. Her guns are really good. And her torpedoes are, they're usable you will get work out of them, but it's not why you play the boat. Truthfully, Curly, I'd say I probably prefer gearing. The gearing is a better all-around ship. Laffy is very much a gunboat, right? That's what has always attracted me about the American destroyers is if you consider just imagine a world where this is the average, the average. As a tier 10 destroyer, you have average gun power, average torpedo power, average AA, average health, average stealth, whatever. The American destroyer line doesn't, and in general, most destroyer lines have one thing on that list that they excel at. Japanese, torpedoes, guns, right? Russians, guns, stealth, like whatever. The Americans, instead of having something they excel at and something that they suck at, they're just slightly above average in like everything. So they're a really good destroyer for almost any situation that you put it in, as long as you don't go like dumb, as long as you still are playing smart, right? Don't go, if you're in your 19,000 HP Fletcher, don't go court a gunfight with a 32,000 point Elbing at the start of a game, because you're going to get your face melted off, right? But you outspot that guy by a kilometer or so. So use your spotting, let your team knock some of his health down, drive him away, pick up a cap, play around the cap, keep, your spotting keeps him away. Then later in the game, after he's low, now you can take that gunfight. Now you can clean him up. Your guns are good enough to win that gunfight later on. Your torpedoes are good enough to contribute to the damage and, slow down people trying to push into the cap or whatever. Those kinds of things. The American destroyers just take that average baseline and everything is just a little better. They don't excel at any one thing. Now, when you spec out an American destroyer, you can take one of those things and turn it up even a little better. Oh, I want to have... Okay, I have above average torpedoes. Let's have good torpedoes. Oh, I have above average AA. Let's have good AA. I have above average guns. Let's have good guns. Whatever you want to do, you can tweak it to kind of your preferred style. That's the American destroyer tech line, the original tech line. Laffy, right? Basically, you almost think of this boat kind of as a little bit French. Guns. Actually, no, French are good guns and good torpedoes and bad stealth and crazy speed. What would I say for this? Probably Russian. Guns, torpedoes, right? In general, Russian destroyers don't have particularly exciting torpedoes. Neither does Laffy. Are they bad? No, they're usable. But it's not why you pick up a Laffy, right? You pick up a Laffy for the guns, for the heal, for the ability to basically run around and do whatever you want and not get dead. All right, what do we got?